Welcome everyone to another session of these academic conferences. Today we will present uh, Reaching Lesson Competencies by Rosario Condori. She graduated from the career Ciencias de la Educación from Universidad Salesiana de Bolivia. She has been working at Centro Boliviano Americano since 2006. She taught she taught all courses at this institution, teaching not only adults but also children and teenagers. She worked at La Salle School with elementary school children and high school teenagers from 2009 to 2016. She created booklets for TNF 1, 2, and 3 and Top Notch 3-1. She obtained her certificate of proficiency in English from the University of Michigan, presented the seminar Application of Contemporary Methods in the Classroom. She presented conferences about job opportunities for educators, applying Adelino Signani, Elizardo Pérez Law in different contexts at Conversatorio Estudiantil at Salesiana University. She led and presented the Conversatorio Estudiantil at Universidad Salesiana de Bolivia, worked as a professor assistant in the following subjects: Metodología de la Investigación 1, Planificación y Proyectos, Currículum 1, Medios y Materiales Educativos. She worked as a volunteer at Pastoral Salesiana with children from 3 to 11 and teenagers from 11 to 19. She volunteered to teach English to children and teenagers at Vacaciones Útiles since 2000. She worked with kindergarten children that have ADT problems at Simona Manzanera Kindergarten. She volunteered to work with children that have mental problems at IDAI. She provided career counseling to senior students at 12 de Octubre School in El Alto, and she attended different citywide and national seminars in Cochabamba, Santa Cruz, and Chuquisaca in the education, English teaching, and systems area. We are very proud to have you, Rosario. You are one of our colleagues at CBA La Paz. Welcome, and I will leave you with your audience, okay?
Thank you very much, Dani. It's a pleasure to be here, sharing our knowledge and sharing this nice challenge we have, which is teaching online, you know, and which has become part of our lives since March, right? Well, let's start with this presentation. I'll start sharing my screen for everyone. Okay, just in case, dear Danny, if you find any problems with the audio, let me know. Okay, and as well as for the
Sure.
teachers, let us know during the
Okay.
presentation if you have any problems.
No
Okay,
problem.
so
Okay.
here I will present reaching lesson competencies online. Okay, so first question, teachers, do you miss working in a classroom? I don't know what they will say. Let me know, please, dear Danny.
Okay, I will repeat the question. Do you miss working in a classroom? Okay, we are waiting for your answers in the chat box, please. Okay, actually, I would say I miss this social interaction we have when we meet a person face to face. We can talk to them, right? What about you, Rosario? Do you miss it?
I really miss it because, as you can see here, I have a picture when I used to work in La Salle. Working with teenagers is always a real challenge as well because of them. I had to learn to use technology very well, let's say, because I remember that, for example, some years ago when I was studying education, I would tell them, I need this book, but I cannot find it anywhere, and they would say, "Teacher, don't you know about Google Books?" And it would be like, "What?" Right? Because we would share our concerns with them, but they will also teach us the way they do things, right? But it was not like looking for a PDF in a book, but saying Google Books, teacher, enter, you will find it. Of course, you will have to pay for some of them, and well, I miss that as well, because you would like see the social interaction, the expressions they had on their faces as well.
Yes, we have some answers from the teachers. Carlos Gonzalez says, yes, definitely. He misses working in a classroom. Wilson Machaca says, of course we do. Monica Martinez, yes, right?
Oh,
And well, those are some of the answers that the teachers posted.
okay, I have more questions. Okay, and answers as well, right? Unfortunately, we can no longer see our students' expressions when speaking. Here I have a picture which was taken in El Alto, one of my students talking about her family. And you could also see, check the way she learns and the kind of intelligence she has when learning, right?
Mm-hmm.
I will talk about intelligences later, yes, but let's just take a look at the pictures and present. And having the students interact in group is a real challenge now. It's not like we can see them or they can take notes or we can see how much attention they are paying, right?
Yeah.
And how about realia? And thinking about realia, as we used to bring that to the classroom, fruit, food, and so on, is not easy anymore. Here I have a class from the executives branch where we have university students and workers and people who work, well, who are professional already, right?
Yeah.
And how can we know if they are really applying what they have learned in the classroom, right?
Mhm.
And well, what can we do when the outbreak of coronavirus made us stay home?
Okay. Well,
I think I think it's time to reinvent ourselves, right? Try to reinvent yourself, teachers. And well, one more question for the audience as well, Danny. Will it be
mhm.
really possible to teach online the way we did it in a classroom? What do your teachers, what do our teachers think about this?
Okay, well, I will repeat the question. Will
Okay.
it be really possible to teach online the way we did in a classroom? We are waiting for your answers in the chat box, please. Uh, well, I think that it's not really that possible because in the classroom, we usually walk around and see how our students are working, right? We can correct mistakes, we can go further if they need any help, right?
Yeah,
However, in a virtual class, it's a little bit difficult.
yeah,
We cannot see their work until it's ready.
yeah, right.
Until
You are
it's
right.
done.
We cannot
Mhm.
see the process of it, let's say, as well, right? We cannot see how they are learning in this way.
Yes, it's a little difficult. What
Yeah,
about you guys? What do you think? We don't have any comments yet.
yeah.
Mm,
But well,
okay.
let's continue then.
Okay.
But when we are teaching, and well, here I will be explaining. If any questions arise, just let me know, please.
Sure.
Okay, I will be explaining the following, teachers. I will be explaining the generational characteristics, the ways our students learn, and what we have to take into consideration as well when talking about remote teaching. Okay, well, let me begin with the generational characteristics. We have four generational characteristics. Let's begin with the baby boomers. Who are the baby boomers? They are the ones that were born between 1946 to 1964. Well, some of these baby boomers might have been the teachers of some of our colleagues, or we know them at home, we have them as our grandparents and so on, right? Well, who are some representatives? Bill Clinton, Meryl Streep. What did they used to have as means to communicate, right? They used to have newspapers. Well, we still have them. They used to have fun at the movie theater, and they used to have card games, right? To have fun. What Generation X, who were born from 1965 to 1976. Some representatives we have, for example, Barack Obama, Jennifer Lopez. They used to communicate using magazines. They would go to Megaplex. Megaplex is a kind of movie theater as well, but with better seats, let's say, with a wider screen, with better audio, and so on, right? And they used to have fun using board games. And then we have the generation of the millennials. I guess most of us are there, right? Who were born in 1997 and until the last one who was born in 1995. We have Ashton Kutcher, Serena Williams as our representatives, and we made a lot of use of Facebook. I guess we are still using this, right? And well, talking about the way we use it, we can always see people posting on, let's say, the pages of a newspaper, of a TV media, but you will never see, well, not never, but you won't see these Generation C students interacting with us in this kind of platform. That's why Facebook is kind of outdated for them, right? And well, we used to watch a lot of HBO. We have like many ways to watch HBO, right? Premium version and so on. We have the Showtime, and we have a way to have fun was Nintendo for us, right? And it is still Nintendo, but in a better version, right? How about this specific generation, the millennials, who were born from 1996 to 2010? We have one of the representatives who's Shawn Mendes. You may know him because he sings really well. And well, our teenagers and young adults love him. And one representative is the PewDiePie, who is a YouTuber, okay? And this YouTuber is what they call an influencer as well, right? That's the language our students use these days. And how about the social media they use? Snapchat, maybe some of us we well didn't have the chance to see it, but well, it's let's say a platform to or a social application to upload pictures, videos. And what La Salle students used to tell me is that it was the new Facebook for them. And they would say, me, teacher, yes, we posted about the homework in our Snapchat, not in our Facebook, like that, right? Instagram, and the ultimate one, which is TikTok. Now, they don't necessarily go to the movie theater because they have Netflix, Hulu, or Stream, and the way to have fun and to communicate as well is Twitch and PlayStation. These last two ones are closely related because when they use Twitch, for example, they can share their video games online, they can chat, as well as for PlayStation, of course, which can go online. And well, if we make a comparison of the way we learned, the way we had fun, we will find that it's very different, right? We cannot pretend to use Facebook as a platform anymore to teach or to communicate our ideas or to tell them, yeah, you can watch an HBO documentary or something like that because this doesn't apply to their generation. Okay, let's continue then. What What does Jean Piaget say about this? The principal goal of education is to create men who are capable of doing new things, not simply of repeating what other generations have done, right? It's true. Well, I will continue reading this. And men who are creative, inventive, and discoverers, right? Well, I was saying that it's true that we should not expect the students to repeat what other generations have done, or to say my generation worked this way and your generation has to respect this. In a way, yes, okay, there are things that should be respected, but there are things that we should also consider as people that come from the previous generation, right? And this is also told by Jean Piaget. But when teaching, we have to consider not only their generational characteristics, but also the multiple intelligences that our students have, the way they perceive and the way they are learning. For example, we have the musical student who is music smart, right? This student may prefer to be given something in Spotify, which is a music platform, or may prefer to listen to some lists in let's say in YouTube, right? We have the visual spatial, the picture smart. This student will benefit a lot from our explanations in Zoom, seen as writing explanations or seeing the very specific way of how, let's say, structures work. We have the intrapersonal, the self-smart student, right? This student might be in the group of students that turn off the microphone teachers when they are using Zoom. Most of us, and I would say also me, were complaining about they're turning off the microphones and not saying a word, right? But it's not that way because this is the way they learn, right? Then we have the nature smart, the naturalistic ones, right? Who may tell us, we don't know what's going on with this. Let's say, for example, the case of Antonio, right? Do you remember the fox? We have the logic and the logic smart, who is the logical, mathematical one, who will be paying a lot of attention on our explanations and always will be asking about let's say, formulas to connect their ideas, right? And well, it's not that it's like some of us will say, this is a grammar oriented student. No, these are the ways that the students learn, right? The verbal linguistic, the word smart, the one who will speak a lot, maybe using correct, let's say, language, right? The interpersonal, this is the one who is suffering the most, I can tell you, teachers, because they don't have this contact, this social contact with their classmates or with their friends, right? And the bodily kinesthetic, the body smart, who will be moving a lot, who will be suffering during this quarantine as well because they cannot move too much, right? Okay. And well, when people learn, or when students learn, when anyone learns something, we have to take into consideration this. How do we decide, teacher? Well, I always talk about this nice movie, though it's for children, right? This movie, Inside Out, explains in detail how people learn and how they decide, right? They say that when people are confronted with anger, fear, disgust, sadness, or joy, they will learn and they will store those ideas in their minds, right? And it's very nice. I hope you have the chance to watch this movie and to see how these learning processes as well take place in our brains. And well, there are more pictures, right? It says, meet the little voices inside your head, right? These chemical processes, we can say, that make us decide. And well, teachers, we also have to take into account learning styles when students are confronted to our remote teaching. Well, I have one of my favorite authors who is Kolf, right? And he's talking about the ways our students learn. Check. Here's the feeling, the thinking, doing, and observing. We have the accommodator, who is in between feeling and doing. He is the hands on learner. He likes doing things, solves problems intuitively, more of a risk taker, and performs well under pressure, right? This might be one of the students who will answer our questions, even knowing the grammar structure is not okay, but they will risk. So we have to respect this way of learning, right? And well, of course, taking notes and then correcting them and so on, right? We have the converger is the practical use of ideas learner, strong in applying the ideas, strong in deductive reasoning. He puts less weight on emotions and he is focused, right? This might be the students who will be uploading a lot of material to our classroom and may tell you, teacher, can we use this in this other context and so on, right? We have the diverger, the different points of view learner, who is a strong imaginative, who has, right, a strong imaginative ability, is good at generating ideas, good at seeing things from different perspectives, and interested in people. I saw some teachers who are using very nice applications to create slides, to doodle together in Zoom together, and they will show you their imagination in your classes online, right? And we have the assimilator, who is the facts oriented learner, strong in researching, getting information, strong in inductive reasoning, explanatory, strong in understanding theory, and more interested in abstract ideas than in people. I had this big group in our executives branch because they are people who are already at the university or who are pursuing a master or a PhD, right? And well, these are the kinds of learners we have in the classroom. And here we have more graphics about the learning style that Cole talks about, right? The concrete one, intuitive experience, enthusiastic, accommodator, activist. The active one will show us experiments. The practical, right? The abstract one, the one who will observe a lot. The logical one, assimilator, reflective, inventive, and so on. And well, my title was Reaching Lesson Competencies. What are competencies, teachers? Competencies are combinations of knowledge, skills, and attitudes that the students develop and apply for successful learning, living, and working. It's not like only related to the classroom environment, but to also to their life and their work, right? They emphasize aspects of learning that apply within and across all subject areas. Competencies help students develop, well, students develop competencies through programs of study, learning outcomes. Okay, I will show you some examples in a second. We have communication competencies. In social studies, it involves exchanging ideas about historical or contemporary topics or issue while considering audience, points of view, perspective, and context. About the students, they use language to express ideas or support their positions on topics or issues in an appropriate manner, right? They engage in dialogue, debate, presentations to construct, right? And to share ideas about historical or contemporary topics or issues. And how about our area, communication competencies? They are used to consider how experiences, perspectives, points of view, or context influence how messages are constructed and perceived, right? And they use a variety of oral, written, or visual modes of expressions when exchanging ideas on topics or issues. Also, communication competencies respect cultures or protocols when sharing ideas about experiences, topics, or issues. And competency descriptions. The competency descriptions are the way we are going to reach the big ones, right? Competency descriptions provide an overview of key features of each competency. They holistically describe attitudes, skills, and knowledge associated with each competency. Well, I have more ideas there, but let's go to the examples, okay? Competency examples. The examples illustrate ways that competency indicators might appear in different contexts, and they help educators, us, or teachers consider a range of situations where a competency may be evident. Well, this is my example from the book Top Notch 1, Lesson 2. It's very necessary that we always check the sequence and scope of it, right? To be aware of what we have to teach and what students are supposed to learn as well. In Unit 2, we have going out, the communication goals, accept or decline an invitation, express locations and give directions, make plans to see an event, and talk about musical taste. These are the competencies that we are going to be reaching, the big ones. We have them in 4 lessons. The vocabulary, it will require the grammar, also the conversation strategies which might be used and which have to be, let's say, perceivable when they will be speaking, right? The listening and pronunciation one, reading and writing. Well, reaching as well all of the skills that we teach at the CBA. Well, competencies in Top Notch 1, Lesson 2. Well, I chose this specific lesson, teacher, because of all the problems I found. For me, teaching this was a real challenge because, well, at least in the at the CBA, I would draw maps. We would talk about places that were around us with the students. But how can you reach these online, right? Well, I had a hard time, teachers, because some students would also tell you like there is a lot to be covered here, but where do they apply this and how, right? Here is the conversation, the vocabulary, which is a lot, and how am I going to have students move, right? As we saw it in the previous slides, we have to reach the different intelligences. For example, the one that is kinesthetic intelligent is not going to be able to understand this if he doesn't move around. And well, we have the listening activity, and well, as you can see, a couple here who will have to walk on the map and then find the way to reach these places. And when I'm finally the production, right? Well, what should we do to reach all of those competencies the book sets, teachers? Well, teaching means creating situations where structures can be discovered, says Jean Piaget. So, what should we do to reach all of these competencies the book sets? We should always find a way to check if students are really reaching the competencies described in each unit and lesson, right? Check. We have the same teacher with different tools, right? We are the ones who choose. And we also should consider using the resources students are exposed to each day, right? I've been listening to some other presenters, and well, it's not like some applications are being used so much. We have to consider one thing, teachers. As I was saying yesterday, is that, For example, there are students who have smartphones, but who are not, well, let's say their smartphones do not have a lot of space in the memory, right? Some students have smartphones that are, let's call them very basic, right? And that have a space only for some applications. For example, if we say Zoom is not useful anymore, I would say no, teachers, because they are using Zoom in most of their educational places, universities, schools, and we cannot ask them to download one more if they don't have space, right? And plus, we know that, for example, universities reached agreements with Intel, Tigo, and so on to have discounts, right? When using the megabytes. TikTok as well, because they will always be watching videos, but let's take advantage of that. WhatsApp is a good tool, but let's say just to tell the students we will go online in a second, or to send them some documents which cannot be sent to you as well, let's say back, right? Because if you send some kind of documents, they have to post it where? In the Google Classroom, because we also can lose documents they will be sending to WhatsApp. Wait, so for me, let's say we have to take advantage of all of these apps they have in their smartphones. Well, so what should we do to reach all those competencies? The book sets. We have to prepare material that is relevant and competency contextualized. Okay, let me go to my main screen here. Maybe Danisita can share the link I sent. Dani, this is the material I compiled for students. For example, sorry. This material is something that I created because, as I told you, teachers, there is not a way for me to have the students move, right? So let's go there. Oops, I'm experiencing some problems. Here. Okay, Danisita, maybe you can share this worksheet I sent you, please, with the teachers. And
Okay, sure. Sure,
yes,
I already sent the link to these worksheets in the chat box. Okay, take a look at them.
okay, it's
Thank you.
material that I developed, and which I sent first via WhatsApp, because students would tell me I have a limited plan in WhatsApp, teacher, send it via there, we will download it. But then I said, oh, guys, please, you will have to post it in our classroom, like here, right? I said, directions, post the worksheet here, please, and check. They reply with their, let's say, smileys there, right? And I have students work. Well, here, teachers, there should always be a way to, let's say, check as well, and to make them feel, as I said at the beginning, as if they were in the classroom. Because don't forget, new students from fundamentals may adapt to what we are doing, right? But students from top notch 1, 2, 3, and the summit ones know that that interaction is really necessary. And besides that, let's say when students see that others are working, all of them want to be responsible. It develops a sense of responsibility, right? And well, what I normally do is the following. Uh, Let me know if the microphone goes crazy or something, please, because I will share what I usually do in a class. Okay. Here I make use of Zoom. I ask some teachers to record a nice video with me. And well, we are going to do this together. Here. This was previously recorded. Okay. So let me work. There is only one problem here.
Yes.
Okay, here. Yeah. Okay, I was explaining that someone has to read what the others have done, and the teacher will start reading.
The YMCA is across from the zoo.
And one second student may use the pen and say, "Oh, here's the YMCA," and explain across from the zoo. This has to be done by a student, not by the teacher, because unfortunately, I don't know what happened to
The
the recording.
supermarket is on the corner of Coral Way and Palmetto Avenue.
Okay, they say corner. Oh, here is a corner, Palmetto Avenue, Coral Way. Here is the supermarket. They have to explain how they understood this.
The drugstore is next to the post office.
Okay, you look for the drugstore here, and it says next to the post office. Of course, you have to grant the permission to your student to interact this way. And the teacher will continue in a second.
The art museum is between the supermarket and the post office.
The art museum. Okay, I find it and I've listened to the word between. Here, in between these two ones. And I hope.
The zoo is across from the YMCA.
Okay, the other students find the zoo and says across. Right? That way, guys, our students will be learning. Not only the one reading, but also the
The
one
Korean
explaining.
restaurant is on the corner of Coral Way and Miami Avenue.
Oh, here is the Coral Way teacher. I mean, the Korean restaurant. Here is Coral Way, and here is Miami Avenue. And they can also change colors and so on, teachers. Okay, let's wait. Oh, well, as you can see, it went crazy as well because I was doing things this way, right? Well, so this is one way I would do things, right? And I would continue, right? I don't know if there are any questions, Annie.
Yes. Well, actually, there are answers to the questions you posed at the beginning.
Okay, okay.
Um, Gabriel says that we don't teach in the same way, right, virtually than when we go to the classroom because of the nature of each teaching type. Mhm.
Okay,
Geraldine says it is difficult, but as teachers, we are creative and we can do it.
great. Yes.
Vania says to the question, almost. Okay,
Okay.
it means almost the same way. But
Yeah.
I admit it is hard.
Yes.
Through some interactive apps, we can kind of feel or transmit our feelings.
Yeah.
Okay,
Totally.
and
Totally.
there are some suggestions also.
Yeah.
Danny says that we could include the generation alpha in this talk.
Okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
As well. As well. Yes. Yes. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay, thank you, Danny. Yes, yes, yes. I actually, yes, I will take into account in one next presentation if God gives us life and we survive. Sorry to say this, right? To talk about Generation Alpha. Well, as I was showing you, teachers, here, this is what my students have done, right? With the worksheets I send them. And well, there will be many different responses, right? But the key here is to check with them, as I'm telling you. It's not like sending only these worksheets or sending them, let's say, a link and not checking them, right? You will see their learning styles as well via their work here, right? And they may also stop you and say, but in my answer, I answered this way. Well, this grammar teachers was not in in the lesson, right? But they learned this in fundamentals, right? Like there is, as well as for the questions, right? And which I had to consider as well, right, in my implicit, let's say, competency indicators, because otherwise students won't produce. Well, I'm just showing you the kind of work the students do. Some of them may use colors and so on. And well, let's stop with giving directions here. And I was talking about, for example, TikTok. I have one of my favorite TikTokers here, who is Luana, one student who studied in English, and she's from Argentina. Let's listen to her. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Sup, stranger? Hello. Hello there. Hi there. Alright. Long time no see. Hey. Well, hello there. Morning. Yo. Por cierto, si quieren ver cómo se usa cada una de estas, las diferencias, los contextos, demás, vayan a mi canal de YouTube, que es igual que mi TikTok, Luana Sanek, y ahí explico más en un video. Y nada, ahí tiene un poco más de vocabulario para sonar más como nativa. Diferente manera.
Why do I like her? Because she was teaching here ways to say hello, and these are nice ways to begin our classes and to, let's say, wake up our students in WhatsApp, right? And you next time you cannot say only hello, you can use like morning, she's saying yo, like that, right? And you may find the stickers as well that may work nice in WhatsApp, because students love interacting this way, right? Or writing these ways, she says, in, let's say, classroom, right? When she says that you can go, if you want to learn more, to her YouTube channel, well, send your students.
Y bueno,
You
tipo,
will say,
hi, no, I'm just looking, thank you, Dad. Ahí recanché. La segunda es Sup, stranger. Sup seguramente les suene, es una abreviación de WhatsApp, es como un ¿qué onda? Y bueno, stranger significa literalmente un desconocido, alguien que no junas, alguien que no conoces. Pero en este contexto se usa como una manera cariñosa cuando te encontrás con alguien que conoces, que tenés mucha cercanía, pero que no ves hace un montón. Entonces vas así como por la calle y ves a tipo tu amigo que no ves hace 3 semanas, que para vos es un montón porque es tu mejor amigo, y le decís tipo, sup, stranger, y nada, queda como cute, tiernis. La tercera que vamos a ver es hello, que es básicamente un hello, pero le sacan la H porque paja. Y como que suena lindo, ¿no? Yo lo digo todo el tiempo, tipo, hello. No sé, me re gusta.
and well, as you can see, the way she interacts with her public is very nice. Is a student from Generation C. Well, not student, it's not our student, sorry for the word I'm using. But well, I'm sure she is someone who students will benefit from. The only problem, and I know teachers, is that she speaks Spanish, right? Unfortunately, but for these basic things, yes, she explains things in Spanish, but mostly she uses English in her TikTok account. And well, I liked her a lot because I also learned new expressions. She said she would talk about differences between using verbs, prepositions, and so on. And well, go give her a like in her TikTok. And well, students will learn from her a lot as well. And we like seeing someone as young as she is explaining things to them, right? Well, let me continue with my presentation. I don't know if there are any questions or comments about TikTok, YouTube, yes, which can be, let's say, used so much, but we have to find good channels, not any channel as well, teachers, because, well, we have to be careful with the language they also use. I don't know if there are any comments, Danny. Seems that no. Well, sorry. Let me continue then with my presentation. I'm about to finish. Right? And finally, teachers, right? When we are no longer able to change a situation like the virus one here, right? The spread of the virus and our staying home, being locked down. we are challenged to change ourselves. Who says this? Victor E. Frankie. And well, here's my bibliography. As I told you, one of my favorite authors, Kolb, with his book Experiential Learning Experience, right? Oswald, talking about the psychology of meaningful verbal learning. Corey S. and Grace, who talk about Generation C goes to college. And that's all. Thanks for having attended this presentation virtually, but that would be. Thank you. I don't know if there are any questions.
Thank you, Rosario.
Mhm.
Okay, no, actually, there are no more questions, but I would like to have some of your comments, please. So I
Okay.
encourage the audience to write comments about the tools that you presented for reaching competencies. And thank you, Rosario, very much for having been part of this presentation.
Thanks to you.
And well, the CBA is very proud of you.
Thank you.
And we would like to grant you with this certificate. Okay, just a second.
Never mind.
Okay, thank you so much and congratulations. It was a really nice presentation. We all learned a lot and we are going to apply some of your suggestions. Okay,
Thank you
thank
very
you
much.
very much.
Have a nice day. Bye.
Thank you. Have a nice day, you too. Okay, and please, teachers, don't forget to fill out the attendance form. Once again, I'm gonna show you the link that I posted a while ago and the pin that you have there. Okay, don't forget to enter the pin, answer the questions, and register your attendance for today. Mhm. Thank you for your attention. Okay, until the next presentation. See you later. Bye, everyone.